Welcome to Whiskey's a Journey. My name is Peter Fasciano. It's Friday. It's actually the first Friday of June, which means it's going to be my first Friday flight fight. Jumping right into it, based on the thumbnail, you know we're doing the GlenDronach flight fight. So in bottle number one, glass number one, we're going to be taking a look at the GlenDronach Portwood. All of the GlenDronachs are going to be matured in the Pedro Jimenez and the Oloroso sherry casks, but this one has a second maturation and they're putting them into a port pipe. 46% ABV, and on the box, I don't know what this actually means. If you guys can tell me, or ladies, let me know in the comments down below what this actually means. It is saying that it says that it has natural cask imparted color. So does that mean that it's natural, or do they have some sort of coloring going on as well? I'm not too sure, but this is going to be the Portwood, and that's going to be in glass number one. Bottle number two, we have the GlenDronach Batch number 10. This is their Cask Strength version. It's coming in at 58.6% ABV. I don't have the box, so I don't know if it's natural imparted cask color or not, but I ended up paying $109.99 for this, and I don't know if they're doing any more of their Cask Strength Batch releases. Let me know in the comments down below if you know any different, and that's going to be in glass number two. And if I didn't say it already, the Portwood was $73.99. Bottle number three is the one I think everybody is up in arms about. This is the GlenDronach 12. I ended up paying $46.99. It's coming in at 43% ABV, and this doesn't say anything about natural color or chill filtration. So I think that it might have both, and I think that's what people are all upset about. Whatever the case may be, that is going to be bottle number three, glass number three. Moving on to bottle number four. We got the GlenDronach 15 coming in at 46% ABV. I ended up paying $112.99. And if you don't know, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. Natural cask imparted color as well. That'll be glass number four. And then my fifth and final is going to be the old one, the GlenDronach 21, coming in at 48% ABV, with also a pretty hefty price tag of $269.99. So there you go. That's going to be my lineup for today. If you have had these, let me know in the comments down below where they rank for you. As I mix these things up, I just need to let everyone know that I do have two giveaways going at the moment. I have my May giveaway and my June giveaway happening. If you are interested in supporting the channel and you would like to contribute any increment of $5, you can contribute to any of my May videos. That way I know you're interested in the May giveaway. If you want to contribute to the June videos, that way I know you're going to be interested in the June giveaway. Any increments of $5 is going to get you one entry into the giveaway, and you're going to win. If selected, you're going to have an opportunity to get 6 2-ounce samples of anything that I reviewed within the month that you entered the giveaway. All right, I think that is sufficient as far as mixing them up. I have them in the black Glencairns because I don't want the color to give away anything, and I do have them marked on the bottom. I'm going to go from my left to right, smell them and taste them, and then give you a little bit of notes and tell you which one I like the most. Let's get this first Friday flight fight going with glass number one. I'm pretty sure they're all going to smell pretty much the same. It's going to be a sherry bomb flight for sure. Comes across as malty with all of those rich, dark red fruits. Comes across very sweet, dark raisin, figs and dates. Smells fantastic. I wouldn't imagine any of these would not smell fantastic, but the taste is what counts. So let's get this one on the palate. Ooh, man, yep. It seems a little bit proofy, very sweet, very malty, and definitely there is a dark, rich note coming through. That's heavy raisin, dates, figs, and plums. I have my water and my paper just off the screen here. I'm going to do my best to rinse in between and just jot down some notes so I can kind of keep track of what's what, because like I had mentioned before, I think they're all going to be pretty much tasting the same, with the exception of the intensity of the notes that are coming out of each of the glasses. All right, let's move on to glass number two. A little bit more muted on the nose. Some of the notes are there. that I got in glass number 1, just not as intense. Lower on the ABV, doesn't sting the nose, but still smelling good, and those malty notes are there as well. Let's go ahead and get it on the palate. So 2 is subdued, low ABV, mellow. Let's go ahead and get it rinsed. Now, actually, the longer that one sat, it's a little bit, it's creamy, but creamy, I would say. Kind of sticks around a little bit. All right, glass number 3. Intense, not as intense, almost non-existent. All the notes are still there, just like I had imagined they would be. Tell you what, all of them smell amazing, and they're gonna taste amazing too. Just gonna be able to figure out the nuances between them and figure out which one I like the most. Let's get glass number 3 on the palate. Very similar to glass number 2, low key, subdued, mellow, maybe a little bit thinner than glass number 2, but all of the notes are still there. So I'm gonna say thin, not as intense. And move on to glass number 4. This smells different than these two, and it would be second in the intensity other than this one. And I'd say it definitely has a different aroma coming out of the glass than these 3 had. So if I had to guess, maybe this one is the port finished or the Portwood. Is that what the Portwood? What it is? Yeah, Portwood. Yeah, I'd be shocked if this wasn't the Portwood. Let's go ahead and get it on the palate. Yeah, that's got a different flavor altogether. It's a little bit bitter and a little tangy. Doesn't quite have the punch that the other 3 did with the raisins, dates, figs, and plums. There's definitely something else there. And I'd say it's soft and malty. All right, last glass. All right, now we're back to the right profile. Well, there's not right or wrong, but it's more similar to these 3 and a little bit off from this one. Like I said, I'd be shocked if that one was not the Portwood. Smells a little dusty, extremely malty. Can't really tell the difference between these 3. Maybe this comes across as a little bit more ABV, a little bit darker, more on the fruity side. I know that sounds a little bit ridiculous to say because they're all heavy with the raisins, dates, figs, and plums, but this might be a little bit overripe. You know, they've gone through their sweetness, and it has like that intense fruit note, darker, richer, but not as vibrant, if that makes any sense. All right, let's get this thing on the palate. So glass 5, dark, rich, well-rounded, and intense malt note. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is rinse, go back the other direction. If I feel the need to A/B compare them before I put them into a somewhat of an order, see if anything changes, and I will be right back. All right, this was a little bit easier than I thought it was actually going to be. There's a clear winner and a clear loser. So the loser is going to be glass number 3. This came across as thin, watery, not as intense. It did have raisin, date, fig, and plum notes, but they were so far back in the background compared to the rest of them. This was easily the 5th place offering. And that 5th place offering was, all right, this is the 12-year-old. I don't think that is surprising. I think the 12-year-old on its own is pretty good. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I think going up against the other core lineup from GlenDronach, I think that is definitely lost within the lineup. 4th and 3rd were very close, but in 4th place, the reason why I put glass number 4 in 4th place, it was pretty off profile. Like going into GlenDronach, I'm thinking that it's going to be that strong, intense raisin, date, figs, plum, that Pedro Jimenez is going to stand out pretty well. It's going to be a sherry bomb, and this is a little bit off profile. So obviously my guess is going to be that this was the Portwood finished, that 2nd maturation. It was good, but it finished just below glass number 5. So glass number 4, I basically said that it was the most different. It was off profile. It had a little bit of a tang to it, and it just didn't fit into everything else. So I think it's the Portwood. I'd be shocked if it was not. That is the Portwood. Is all my pen wrote on there, just smeared That's the Portwood. So the Portwood is coming in fourth, coming in third, glass number 5. I said that this was good, but I ended up picking up a little bit of a sulfur note in here. It was the most malted. It has the most malt coming through, and it also landed on my palate the softest. It was the most well-rounded. It really didn't have any sharp edges in it whatsoever. But in the end, it didn't pack the sherry note that the other two had. So I ended up putting this one in third place, and I was drinking, oh, the 21. Maybe that's where that softness comes in. Things just seemed to be a little bit closed off or contained. Didn't really have a whole lot of punch to it. So the 21-year-old was in third place. Now, second and first was very close. Second place, I ended up putting glass number 2. I said that this had a bubblegum note that was actually pretty nice, that put it above glass number 5. It was sweet. It was the sweet spot between glass number 1 and glass number 5. It kind of fit right in the middle of the two. I enjoyed it very much. I thought it had a really good raisin date fig note punch to it. That sherry note, that Pedro Jimenez note, was very rich. It was very delicate. It was very decadent, I would say. It was a very good mouthfeel, pretty oily, well-rounded, but it did have a little bit of a sharpness to it that gave it that extra little punch to it that I kind of liked. And what did I say? Anything else? Oh, I think that was it. So in glass number 2, I was drinking the 15. All right. So that means that batch number 10, which I don't think was a big surprise, that this batch 10, if I can read my writing, yeah, batch 10 is an amazing bottle. It's high proof. It has the most vibrance on the nose. There's an explosion of flavor on the palate. And even though it packs a punch and there's an explosion of flavor, there were no sharp edges to this whatsoever. It was the one that was best on the nose and also best on the palate. It's an amazing pour. Yeah, hands down. I don't even think it's close with the rest of them. And again, I'm not positive if they're doing these batch releases anymore, so let me know in the comments down below if they are or aren't. Last thing to do is get this into a blend. So let me go ahead and get another Glencairn and see how these things blend together. All right, so we've got the batch 10, the 15. I tell you what, my memory is so bad. And if you are watching this, this is the first Friday of June. I have now been back for about a week from my KCBS barbecue event over in Riverside, California. My brother-in-law and I participated in a backyard barbecue event. I think it was called the Brews and Q Festival over in Riverside. I was in charge of chicken, he was in charge of ribs, and I'll let you know how I did in the description of this video. And hopefully here in the near future, if by chance we ended up winning either this event or the one that's also on the 15th, if we get a trophy, I told my brother-in-law he has to come in here and shoot a video with me so we can display the trophies and drink a little bit of whiskey. All right, so there's that sulfur note again. Doesn't quite have the punch that the individual glasses did, especially, that was the 12, right? The 12 was the most subdued, but I think mixing these together almost kind of collapsed everything. It just smells like sulfur, ethanol, and a little bit of malt. There is some sweetness that's coming out of here, but nothing spectacular. I don't have any high hopes for this blend, but hey, we got to give it a shot, right? Yeah, if any of those raisin states figs notes are coming out, it's a light golden raisin, nothing dark at all. All right, let's go ahead and get it on the palate. Yep, watery, thin, malty, a little bit sugary, but yeah, it just collapsed everything. I don't think the flavors are coming together all that well. Probably a blend that you can skip. It's not the worst that I've had, but I would definitely drink all of these on their own rather than drink the blend. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of GlenDronach. Like, subscribe, share, do all those things that YouTubers ask you to do. And wherever you are at in your journey, I hope you are enjoying it. Because I am, because of pours like this. So we'll talk to you guys later. Bye. That is just amazing. Every time I sip it, my mouth just waters. I'm just salivating. You know, I'm wondering if I can put this up against the Bunnahabhain 2022 Cask Strength. I might have to throw those two together and put it into my sample pool to get a bottle battle going. Let me know in the comments down below which one you think is going to win. All right, that's all I have for you. We'll talk to you later. Bye.